Hi, welcome. This video is all about foods that will worsen your menopause symptoms and make your lives much more uncomfortable than they need to be. Many of us struggle with a long list of frustrating and disturbing symptoms and are always on the lookout for tips and treatments to help ease our daily torment. One surefire way to decrease many of the unwanted symptoms that menopause often blesses you with is to focus on what you put in your mouth. That old saying, you are what you eat, actually holds value, and there are certain food groups that will amplify your menopause symptoms or cause new ones. One of the most troublesome foods is sugar, and I'm not talking about natural sugar that comes complete with fiber and nutrients like fruit. I'm referring to added sugar. It's very addictive, incredibly tasty, hidden in many foods, and highly problematic, especially in menopause when nutrition is vital to help counteract the effects low estrogen has on the body. Here are 5 of the most important reasons why sugar is a problem. 1, sugar has absolutely no nutritional value whatsoever. No fiber, antioxidants, nutrients, protein, nothing. It's just empty calories. 2, sugar is highly inflammatory. And if your menopause is progressing anything like mine, you're aware that decreasing estrogen causes an increase in inflammation, among other things, that can result in body-wide pain in muscles, tendons, and joints. Consuming sugar just adds fuel to that fire and amplifies existing discomforts. 3, sugar causes rises in triglycerides, and cholesterol is often already an issue for many in menopause. Triglycerides, if you weren't already aware, are one of the most concerning types of cholesterol, so you definitely want to keep them on the lower side. 4, sugar increases your risk for heart disease, and menopausal women are already at an increased risk, so why make matters worse by adding unnecessary sugars to the diet? And 5, sugar can lead to weight gain, especially if it's coupled with fat, like in chocolate. And many of us are already struggling with added pounds in midlife. It can also lead to a fatty liver and a list of other things, but I would be here all day. I'm sure you get the point, so let's move on. The second food that you should avoid or lessen is caffeine. This is a tough one for many women, especially when it comes to coffee. Some of you may be able to tolerate it in moderation, but generally speaking, when it comes to menopause and caffeine, less is best. Caffeine is a stimulant and can trigger or aggravate symptoms like hot flashes, heart palpitations, insomnia, and anxiety. I was one of the unlucky ones that almost always suffered with heart palpitations or weird adrenaline surges every single time I drank coffee. And I loved coffee. Fortunately, I can tolerate green tea, which by the way has many health benefits in menopause. So it's not completely tragic. If you're going to attempt to decrease your caffeine intake, please remember to taper it slowly. Going cold turkey can cause horrible withdrawals like increased anxiety, headaches, fatigue, and irritability. Number 3 is processed foods. The rule of thumb is if it comes in a brightly colored package with a long list of ingredients, you likely should avoid it. These types of foods are loaded with sodium, sugar, unhealthful fats, artificial flavors and colors, preservatives, processed white flours, and empty calories. They contribute to water retention, bloating, and digestive upset, and put you at an increased risk for high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and blood sugar imbalances, all of which are already a problem in menopause for many women. So rather than amplifying all of these symptoms, try choosing foods closer to their original forms, rather than altered and packaged. 4 is alcohol. Alcohol can cause problems in menopause in 2 ways. 1, alcohol is a high histamine food, and histamine intolerance is common, especially in perimenopause. Estrogen stimulates mast cells to release histamine, and histamine stimulates more estrogen production. It's a vicious cycle. When estrogen peaks occur in perimenopause, histamine can be high. So consuming high histamine foods, like alcohol, can worsen symptoms like headaches, nasal congestion, skin conditions like eczema and psoriasis, nausea, and digestive complaints. 2, alcohol often triggers hot flashes and can make it much harder to stay in restful sleep. And many of us pray nightly for sleep, so avoiding alcohol may be a good idea. Number 5 is processed meats. These are some of the most unhealthful foods in existence and put menopausal women at an increased risk for health problems that they're already at a higher risk for. They are loaded with preservatives, sodium, sugar, saturated fats, nitrates, and other unhealthful additives that make it more likely that you will develop heart disease, cancers, and high blood pressure. And the incredibly high sodium content can cause problems with water retention and swelling. These types of foods should be avoided at any stage in life, but especially during menopause, when the risks for certain diseases are already higher. A bonus food group that varies from person to person and should be eliminated in menopause are reactive foods. These are foods that produce an allergic response and will most definitely exacerbate symptoms. New or worsening allergies and intolerances are common when hormones shift, and even nutritious food can end up being a problem. So pay attention to how you're feeling mentally and physically when you eat, to try and pinpoint problematic foods and eliminate them. You may find this helps a great deal in reducing the intensity of some of your symptoms. Making an effort to cut down and perhaps even eliminate these food groups and pivoting to a diet as close to nature as possible will go a long way in easing a list of menopause symptoms. It is challenging, I'm not going to lie, especially when the chocolate is calling your name from the cupboard, but it is doable and very helpful. I wish you all health, happiness, and a resolution to all of your menopausal symptoms. Subscribe if you want to see more videos on menopause. Look for the link to my menopause support group in the description under this video if you're interested in connecting to other menopausal women, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now.